This man, I have never seen anyone so nonchalant about a person getting kidnapped, could have been trafficked, could have been killed. Honestly, it just blew my mind. Just a quick disclaimer, the content presented in this podcast is based on real events and may contain graphic descriptions of violence, crime scenes and other disturbing material. Listener discretion is advised. This episode is sponsored by Think Forensic.
Think Forensic are a one-stop shop for all things forensic science and crime solving. They hold experience days, as well as corporate events, team building events, and general education for primary school right the way up to university level, as well as other events and consultancy. There's also a shop where you can get your hands on all things crime solving, from evidence gathering to packaging and collecting evidence, as well as other forensic science equipment.
For more information or to book on an experience day, please visit the website. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Grave Secrets. We're your hosts, I'm Annie.
And I'm Beth.
And we're back.
Fancy seeing you here.
It seems like it has been so long since we filmed, and we do apologise about that, guys, but we are back.
We're back with a vengeance. It was a brief hiatus that we kind of we did anticipate to a certain degree, because we pre-filmed quite a few episodes, so that we'd got some to go out,
and
then they suddenly ran out.
We even thought about releasing episodes every other week, so
staggered, so you didn't miss us too much.
Yeah, but then we just dropped off the face of the earth and didn't tell you why.
But don't worry, we're all okay. Not that anyone asked.
Yeah.
It was just life, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Work was incredibly busy. Surprisingly, we do actually have social lives as well.
I've got more of a social life than I ever thought I had.
Yeah. So
these past few months have been crazy.
We have been out of the country quite a bit. It was really hard to align schedule-wise, because just as I entered the country, you would leave, and then just as I left the country again, you'd come back. And
sometimes we even went to the same places. So you just came back. Was it Marbella?
Yeah.
You came back from Marbella. I went to Marbella. But I'll admit I've had about 10 holidays this year already.
Yeah, we've both
and I go again next week. So
yeah, we've both done quite well there.
We have.
We've been busy little bees, I'm afraid. And so, yes, there has been a bit of a gap. But it has been lovely, because we have had people that have said, Where are you? What's going on?
Where have you just disappeared to?
When are you going to be back? And I think what's quite nice as well, because people listen to us in different ways, like one person said to me, well, I always listen to you in this certain, I can't remember what the scenario was. And so they're not up to date yet anyway. But they were like, I'm about to be caught up, so you need to release more.
A lot of people listen to us when they're cleaning.
Yeah.
When they're doing the cleaning and have us on. Yeah.
Yeah.
We must
slightly less boring than cleaning. So thank you ever so much to everyone that obviously is still following us. Again, work-wise, from a Think Forensic perspective, that has been really busy anyway, which is obviously great. And then we went viral, which would be nice if we could go viral. But we did not expect it at all. And someone came on an experience day that I was working.
Right.
Didn't even notice necessarily that she was filming. So, yes, people obviously take photos when they're doing the fingerprinting and stuff, but I didn't think anything of it. And then, lo and behold, we get tagged. I mean, to be fair, she did message beforehand and just wanted to check that it was all right. Yeah. But then put it on Instagram and TikTok, and it's just blown up massively.
That's good.
It's been amazing. But the amount of inquiries that we've had.
Has there been so many?
Bombarded.
Oh, that's good though.
So, great kind of for Think Forensic. And I have noticed that we've got quite a few more followers now.
Right.
We've had a real increase on our Instagram page.
So they might have come from the Think Forensic side as well.
I think they've probably come from there.
Oh, that's nice.
We did actually have a comment, so if this was you, thank you ever so much, on the viral video saying, I listened to a podcast by two people that work here and it's amazing.
Oh, and it was us
I
too.
love listening. And I was like, yes,
thanks.
So I'm replying as Think Forensic, like, oh, that's so great. And secretly it's me going,
And probably messaging me going, have you seen this? Yeah. So we've actually got lots of exciting things coming up. Yes. Some of them we can't tell you about just yet, but one thing we can talk about is CrimeCon.
Ta-da! So it's the Manchester CrimeCon UK, partnered by True Crime. We're going to be there as content creators. We were there previously with Think Forensic, so it's been going to be super exciting to go as Grave Secrets.
Yeah, on the other side of it, aren't we, this time?
Yeah, so more opportunity to get to be able to speak to people that are going to be there. And we've got some exciting things planned in terms of what we're going to bring along with us on the day. It's not just going to be us stood in a corner smiling.
So if you have already got tickets, then make sure you come and see us. But if you haven't got your tickets yet, then we will pop a discount code on the screen for you where you can get an extra, I think it's 10%, isn't it, off tickets?
So it's already up on our Instagram. But I'll repost it as well so that we can share it again.
Because we want to see some of you there. Like, it'd be really nice to meet some people, wouldn't it? Because we've got quite a few listeners now.
I do think I'll freak out, like in a good way, obviously. But I think if someone came up
and they're like, oh, hi, Beth.
And was like, oh,
I'll listen to the podcast.
Okay, cool.
It'll be nice to see people, and there's loads of other really good content creators there as well, and a few that we've met the previous times when we've been at CrimeCon. So I think it'll be nice to see the other creators.
Yeah, I do.
There as well. And I looked through the guest speakers yesterday, and there's some really, really good speakers.
Yeah, there's a couple that I'm going to be like, no, I want to go to this one.
Yeah, I think we'll be able to get to them all this time, won't we?
Yeah, hopefully.
Because in the breaks is when
previously we
swap and people come to us.
Yeah.
Because we're now not going to be on the Think Forensic, we're going to be in the...
Yeah, so we can actually listen.
So it'd be nice to actually go a bit more relaxed as well and just think, right, this is what we're doing.
And we will probably do a CrimeCon episode because we'll probably talk about the different people that were speaking. And
I think we did that last time, didn't we? We did one because there was so many good people there that we met and we were like, wow.
Yeah.
These people actually do this.
It's fascinating.
They were really good. So we'll definitely do a debrief.
Yeah.
A debrief
so
episode.
27th of September, if you're around the Manchester area and you fancy coming along to CrimeCon, make sure you get your tickets and we'll see you there.
Yep. So today we're doing an Eyes and Ears episode. So we've not done one of these for quite a while, have we?
No, we haven't. And I do enjoy these because it gives us an opportunity to have a bit of a chat.
It's a lot more relaxed.
It's a lot more relaxed.
Yeah.
And I also think it's quite nice to be able to just look at, obviously, what we're going to talk about documentaries and things, but some of the stuff that you can like watch and listen to is a bit easier listening than some of the stuff that we either cover or watch.
And I think when we are covering cases, we are so sort of adamant on getting things right and the facts and the victims that it's these ones are just so much more chilled, aren't they?
Yeah. So even if you don't enjoy them as much, they're going to keep happening.
Because we like them.
Just skip the episode if you need.
First one back and they're like, nah, I'm not listening to that one. Let's skip it.
Oh, God.
So shall I start with one of mine or do you want to start with one of yours?
No, you go with
Shall I
yours?
go?
Yeah.
So there's a few things that I've been watching at the moment that have been really, really good. And there's things that I watch, don't get me wrong, and I'll watch them and think, it was all right. And I do watch a lot of true crime stuff.
Yes.
So this is what I would normally watch on TV. I've not watched it specifically for this.
No,
it's things that I've watched and I've thought, actually, I've told that many people about it. It'd be nice to tell people on the podcast as well.
I think it's funny as well because I think me and you watch things in different ways. Like I feel like you sit down and watch something, I'm listening to them all to fall asleep to.
Yeah, so then you fall asleep.
So I end up sending you just links on Facebook to all of these cases that I've obviously found interesting, but I've not sat there and watched it. It's been like almost through osmosis. Whereas you actually sit and watch.
So I've got a couple of things to talk about and they are all really different as well. So the first one is called Good American Family and it is on Disney+. So this is a crime drama, but it is based on a true story. And I think I was telling you about this one.
Yeah.
So it's based on the story of a girl called Natalia Grace, and she was a Ukrainian-born girl with a rare form of dwarfism. So she came over to the UK and she went into what's their, I don't know what the American word for like their child protective.
Oh, right, yeah.
So like their CPS.
type.
Yeah. And she got placed with a family, but the medical bills also came with that.
Right.
And obviously we're talking about in America.
Yes.
So the family had paid a certain amount towards the medical bills, and then they'd said like Natalia didn't fit in with their family, and they'd given her back then to the Child Protective Services. At this point, there is a family called the Barnetts, and they've fostered children beforehand and adopted children with special needs, with disabilities. So the agency, the fostering agency or adoptive agency think, oh, these probably be a good fit for the family. So they ring them up and they say, we've got a girl for you. You know, if not, she's going to go into a
long-term care home
like a children's home, which is not going to be good for her because of her disability. She'll probably really struggle in there. So obviously this family was like, oh, we've adopted children before. We'll take her on. Anyway, when they went to go and sign the papers and take her on, they said, oh, there's a £7,000 medical bill outstanding for her that before you take her home, you're going to have to pay this medical bill.
God, it's so difficult then, isn't it? Because if you're in a position to be able to adopt, that's great. But obviously you want to then give them a good life. You want to make sure that they're provided for.
But then £7,000's a lot of money still, isn't it?
Yeah, to come out straight away.
Yeah, so they had to like really scrimp and scrape to get this £7,000 together. To be able to then take Natalia home.
It up front. It wasn't.
So they had to pay it, and then they managed to take Natalia home. But this family is like, obviously it's called a good American family, and it's like your typical good American family who everyone loves. The mum, Christine Barnett, had opened like a community centre where she had it was based around her son who was autistic.
Right.
And it was like all these children could come, and it was like an experience tailored to specific needs of children, which is really good. And it shows at the beginning the difficulties of Christine bonding with Natalia.
Right, okay.
But you think in these situations that's quite normal because it's someone who's just come into your family, and sometimes you might not gel with them straight away.
And the dynamics are difficult, aren't they? And if I feel like it would be really hard because they'd probably be trying really hard to be like, to come across well.
So Christine was like, I just want her to like me, but Natalia was more for the dad.
Yeah.
So it was a bit
if you come on too strong, then I feel like the child can then sometimes go the other way. It's really hard.
So it starts off with like seeing the difficulties, but then it also comes across as Natalia's causing problems within the family. Like Christine wakes up one night and Natalia's at the end of a bed with a knife.
Right, okay, so that got
she puts
spiraled really quick. I thought you were going to say like, I don't know,
she's arguing
bickering with the other children or whatever.
No, it just skips that bit.
Right, okay.
And then she like leaves, I'm sure it's pins on the floor. Upside down.
And how old is she?
So she's 8 at this point.
Right, okay.
So she leaves pins upside down on the floor, and the brother comes and treads on them. She steals one of the brother's toys and pulls its head off, and they find it under a bed.
And so obviously the child services didn't mention any of this troublesome behaviour.
No. So then they're trying their best to do what they can for obviously this little girl.
Yeah.
And then it comes into question how old the child is, because she's doing stuff that's like a bit calculated.
Right.
And Christine, the mom, goes into a wardrobe one day and finds socks with blood on them.
Okay.
And she thinks, right, she's used those as like a sanitary, sanitary pad. So she says, right, this child's got a period. An 8-year-old doesn't have a period. She's older than she is.
Yeah.
So then Christine does some digging and gets her records and says it doesn't look like the person that, is on her documents. And then she rings the agency back and says, like, I want more information. This agency's disappeared and shut down.
Oh, no.
So at this point, it's like, oh my God, scam.
Yes.
So it starts off like that. And it is quite biased because the first episode is from the Barnett's family point of view.
Okay.
So I'll not ruin it too much for you, but what they do is they think that Natalia is a grown woman.
Right.
And she's trying to get her medical bills paid, so she's pretending to be a child, and the CPS agency are in it with them.
But surely, like, just based on that, if that's what you were trying to do, you wouldn't be creating all of this
drama
and chaos, because you would want the quiet life, let them pay the thing,
and you won't want to get sent
pretend to
back,
be a child, and then it seems counterintuitive to them.
So this first episode is like the good American family.
Okay.
So it's like showing you what they've done for kids and all
and
this
is it all like as if it's through the lens of a YouTube video type thing?
Yeah, it's all very like flowered up sort of thing. And then they are that convinced that they think Natalia is a grown woman. I'm sure they think she's in her early 20s.
Right.
That they go to doctors and they tell them their concerns, and they somehow manage to get her records changed, her legal documents, to say that she is a 20-something-year-old woman.
Right.
So when they've got that changed, they then are like, well, we're abandoning you.
God.
So they get her a flat, this little flat.
Right.
And they just stick her in it with some food.
Is this, what's the film where there's a kid that pretends to be...
Oh, I don't know. I've not seen that.
Is it Orphan? I'm sure it's like a scary film.
Oh, I bet it is Orphan. Yeah.
And they find out that it's an older... someone pretending to be a child.
Oh, wow. This is basically like...
So they obviously watched that film and they were like...
Yep, this is it. So they put her in this house, and she really struggles. She looks like she's homeless, like she does not eating properly. She can't even like reach the cupboard. She's just eating like cereal out of the box.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, she goes to, I think it's like the supermarket or somewhere, and another family come across her and are like, what the hell, are you homeless?
Yeah.
Anyway, they bring her back to her flat. They look inside it and see like how much of a mess she's in.
Yes.
And they are like a very religious family,
Right.
and they've also adopted children.
Okay.
So they say, right, come for food with us.
Yeah.
They take her in and she comes around for food. But the Barnetts are being really, really nasty to Natalia, because obviously she's trying to ring them all the time.
Yeah.
Saying like,
well, I don't know
Mom,
what to do.
come home.
Yeah.
Like, can I come home? And the mom's like, oh, no, leave me alone, like you're a grown woman.
Oh, God. But then they've paid for this. They've obviously got the flat sorted. So
Yeah, they sorted the flat out, so it's a bit of a weird one. It's because they still had custody of her.
Ah, okay.
So even though
like,
she was
do
older,
what we need to do, but we're not
yes.
going to do more than that.
So then the next episode is from Natalia's point of view.
Ooh.
And it shows you what caused her to act out.
Right.
And
how old is she when she's being interviewed?
16.
Right.
So it goes back and it completely flips the story.
Jeez.
Anyway, I did a bit of digging and research on it. It's not in the documentary.
Yeah.
But the Barnetts did actually get convicted of abandoning an 8-year-old. And Natalia had to fight to get her
records changed back.
But it was because her birth mother came forward from the Ukraine and said, these are the hospital records when I gave birth to her.
Oh, my Lord.
So then Natalia had been a disabled child. She'd been in child protective services. She'd been adopted and brought back. She'd been adopted again. And at 8 years old, she'd then been abandoned and she'd lost her whole childhood.
Yeah, that's horrific.
Obviously, there's more to it, but it's like...
You just
flips the perspective.
I know it's like the classic thing to say, but like you just cannot believe that things like that actually happen.
But the first episode, I was like, wow, Natalia's mean.
Okay.
She's evil. Like, I wouldn't have that child in my house if she was doing that to my kids and whatever else. Yeah. And then when it flips round, and it turns out that she wasn't using the socks as sanitary towels, she was...
Spoiler.
She was getting abused, and her feet were cut on glass, and she was in the socks. So when she peeled the socks off, the socks were covered in blood.
Oh my God.
Yes, so that is definitely one to watch, and that is on Disney Plus. It's 8 episodes.
8?
So I binged this one because I started watching it and I was like, I need to know more on this.
Right, okay. Yeah,
so it is a really good one. So there's a few little spoilers in there, but nothing like...
No. Yeah.
It shows you like the court case of her trying to get her age changed back. And her side of the story is it's just so sad.
Yeah.
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 So that is, it's not like a true crime one as in what I'd normally watch about, someone like a murder or a kidnap or something like that. But I just think that was a really, really interesting one.
On a similar note, I don't know whether you've seen on Netflix, there's all of these train wreck episodes.
No, I've not seen those.
So I don't know why they're called train wreck, but they feature a different case every time. And when I say case, some of them are really obscure. So there's one called Balloon Boy.
Right.
And it's basically a quite, what word do people use for me? Eccentric. Quite an eccentric family. And the dad is really into like building and creating and inventing, basically.
Yeah.
So he creates a UFO out of like various materials that he's wanting to send up, but it effectively becomes like a giant helium balloon.
Right.
His little boy, I'm not quite sure because I've not actually watched this one yet. His little boy gets into this because it's a huge balloon and then is taken up with the wind.
Oh no.
Stuck in this UFO. So then there's this whole obviously investigation as such to try and get him down. Obviously the police service, the fire services are involved. Everyone's involved.
They'd have to look at like the air traffic as well if he's just going up.
Yeah, horrific. They couldn't contact him. They were like, they didn't know whether he was still alive.
How old is this little boy again?
Like maybe 5 or 6, I'd say.
Oh God.
But then the dad came into question because they were like, he basically sent his son up there on purpose. And he was like, I would never do that. Anyway, I've not even watched this one yet. But that
does sound interesting, yeah.
But the one that I have watched is about American Apparel.
Right.
And basically how much it's similar to a cult. It's run horrifically.
Yeah.
The people at the top of the chain were abusing their position in power. The way that they were hiring young girls wasn't ethical. There were young girls that were being told to just come round to one of the, I don't know whether it's because I'm rubbish at details. I don't know whether it was like the owner or one of the like board directors or whatever for American Apparel was basically just giving the girls his home location. They were turning up and he would be in underwear.
Oh wow.
And then basically he was saying, if you want this job,
you've got to. It's not exactly the same, but like I don't know if it's the same nowadays. But do you remember when Hollister used to only take on like models or really fit people?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's the same sort of thing now.
Yeah. And so he was just getting away with everything. But then it was really interesting because they obviously interview loads of different people.
Yeah.
But he effectively, and maybe he was the founder because there was a board on American Apparel and he effectively got kicked out of his own company.
Wow. Because all this came to light.
Yeah, because all of it came to light and the board then decided that he should be. But interestingly, he's now the co-owner of another very famous brand. And apparently just does exactly the same as...
so he's just moved on to there.
Yeah, so that's a really interesting one. There's also one about Astro World, which was, is it Travis Scott's festival that he did? Apparently was carnage and so
like scam wise or just like in
I'm not
general.
Sure. So that there's an episode on that. There's another one called the Pooh Cruise or something. I've not watched those ones. But
and everyone's just like something totally different.
Yeah, just a one-off episode. But yeah, I found those interesting.
It's really funny when we go over our, like, not even cases what we've watched, because we do watch stuff that's like really different, don't we?
Yeah.
Like, I'd never think to watch those ones, but now you've said it, I will probably go and watch a few.
Yes.
But like, I wouldn't think straight away to just look at one of these episodes and think, oh yeah, that's what I'm going to watch.
Yeah, and interestingly, I've obviously picked the one that is more horrific. Like, it's an older man abusing younger women.
Yeah.
And it's quite insipid in the way that it's run in this big company. There's ones that are more light-hearted, and I skip through all of those and
just go for this. Go straight for those. I think at the moment on like Netflix there is some really good stuff on. I've got so many things added to my watch list. There's one that's just come up. It's on one of the top ones today. I saw it this morning, and on the cover of it, it's like got a blue bin, and then it's the murder of, like, obviously the victim. Yeah. And that's one that I've put on my watch list because I'd never heard of her before. I don't know if she's called Lou something. Right. I'd never heard of it, and I thought, I'll have a look at that one because that'll be good. And then another one which is on the top watch list is Amy Bradley is Missing. And I was telling you a little bit about this, weren't I?
Yes,
and I was telling my mum about it the other day.
Clips about it because, again, at the minute I've just not had time to watch anything. Yeah. But there's getting more and more now where I'm like, That's
so
one of
it's
the ones
like
that I'd...
an anniversary has just been. So when
Of her disappearance?
Yeah, so when I put on, I was at my sister's the other day and I put on, it was like this morning. Yeah, I think it was this morning or GMTV or so, something like a morning show. And Amy Bradley's mum and dad were on the show. Obviously, they've not given up on trying to find the daughter. Yeah. So this is a true crime series investigating the 1998 disappearance of 23-year-old Amy Bradley on a Caribbean cruise. So she went on a Caribbean cruise with her parents and a brother. So her mum and dad had won a Caribbean cruise at work. So, like they'd got rewarded for something. And they said,
a good gift.
Yeah, in 1998 as well. And they said that they thought it was just going to be for them two, but they said, oh no, it's for all four of you. So the kids were sort of excited to come, but there was only one cabin.
Right, okay.
So the kids were going to have to stay in the same room. And Amy was 23 and her brother was a little bit younger. Yeah. So it was like, it's going to be a really good cruise, but we've got to share.
Annoying. Yeah.
So they went off on this cruise. And one night, Amy and her family all head out for dinner. Nothing really out of the ordinary. And Mum said that there was someone like staring at her all the way through dinner, staring at Amy.
Right,
She noticed.
Yeah.
But she was just like, what are they looking at? Like, that's a bit weird. Yeah. But nothing like too out of the ordinary. She just thought like, what's wrong with that person? Anyway, after dinner, Amy's mum and dad headed back to their room. Right. And Amy and her brother decided to go out. I say go to the top floor of the cruise ship because there was a nightclub on there.
Okay.
So they were like, we'll go up there and we'll have fun. Yeah. So they went up there, they had a few more drinks, and then they went back to the room with the mum and dad were staying in. The brother went to bed and Amy smoked. So she went out onto the balcony area and she sat out there and she had another drink and she just had a smoke and she was just sat
Again,
outside
it's not
there.
Like on a cruise ship, your balcony goes anywhere, is it? Like,
yeah, exactly. And then it got to, I think it was something like 4 or 5 in the morning, and Amy's dad woke up and said, thought, I'll just check the kids are here. Anyway, the brother is in the bed. He was called Brad, and the dad glanced outside onto the balcony and he saw Amy's legs like up on the bench.
Right, yeah.
So he was like, oh, she's fallen asleep outside. Obviously, it's quite warm.
Yeah,
like,
she's all right.
It doesn't really matter. She just had a drink, yeah. So he went back to bed, but when he got up at 6 a.m, he went to look out on the balcony and she wasn't there.
Right.
So he thought, I bet she's gone up to watch like sunrise.
Okay.
Or to grab some breakfast because she's like a sociable person. Yeah. Like, I bet she's gone to do that. So he gets his clothes on and thinks, right, I'll go and obviously go and find her.
Yeah.
And he goes up and he can't find her anywhere. And he's like, this is weird. Like, where would she be? We're on a cruise. Yeah. Anyway, this is 7 a.m. in the morning.
And she's obviously not said I'm going anywhere. Left a note or whatever. Yeah.
So this is 7 a.m. and the dad then obviously tells the other family members what's happened. They all go looking for her. They still can't find her. So they go to the cruise director. He's not the captain. He just like sorts stuff out on the cruise.
Yeah, they always have.
And
the
they
man
say,
that knows everything.
And they say to him, "Look, our daughter's missing. Can you put like something out on the tannoy to say like this is what she looks like?
Which
Can
again
Amy
isn't
please
like out of norm. What is it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Can Amy please come? Like your family are looking for you. Can you please meet them at such and such on the ship or whatever?" Yeah. He says, no, I can't do that. There's other guests on the boat. It's 7 a.m. in the morning. I'm not waking people up. Just keep looking for her.
But again, I've never been on a cruise before, but I would imagine that the tannoy you would hear more in like the central locations.
Main areas.
Yeah, in the main areas than you would do in your
Don't
bunks.
know. So the family's like, right, well, okay, we'll keep looking.
Have to leave it? Yeah.
So the family then obviously keep looking for Amy. Still can't find her. And the ship is coming into dock at a Caribbean island.
Right.
So they go back to this cruise director again and they say, look, you need to stop the ship from docking because if Amy's on here, we need to find her before the ship docks because she could then be taken off the ship. She could leave the ship. He says, there's loads of other people on the ship that are paying for this holiday. Like, we're docking, right? So then the cruise director person says like, oh, she's probably thrown herself overboard. What? Yeah, fallen over the balcony, thrown herself in. So anyway, when they come into dock...
And just that's that then? So
when they come into dock, they talk to the locals, and locals say, well, because of the current and whatever else, if something had happened to her and she'd accidentally fallen overboard, this is where she would have come in. They searched that area, nothing.
Right.
So by this time, the family's like, where the hell is Amy?
So have they informed local police, do you know? Like, do they get off at the island?
No, not particularly, because they're on a Caribbean island, and I can't remember it began with C. And part of the island, well, certain parts of the island are mafia territory.
Right.
So it's not like the police run the island.
Yeah, okay. I know this is really bad, but it makes me think of Death in Paradise.
Yeah.
When it's like they've got one officer, one detective.
Yeah.
What, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I doubt that.
So Amy's still not found, and there's some sightings of Amy that come to light later on.
Okay.
So the family stay on the island looking for her.
So they don't, is it just like a day stop at this island?
So they stay there. They're just
they don't get back on the cruise. They're like, right, well,
we need to find Amy.
But then that's so difficult, because you'd maybe think that two of them would go back on the cruise in case she then turns back up on the boat.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, after a while, they were like, the mum went home, like you said.
Yeah.
The dad stayed for a bit, and then eventually the dad went home, because he was like...
Yeah, what do you do?
I can't really do anything. So he did work with some of the, like, local... I don't know if they were police officers or authorities.
Yeah.
And someone said to him, a taxi driver shouted him over and said, are you looking for your daughter? And he said, yeah. And he said, she was here.
Right.
She was here at the taxi rank. She was like she asked she asked if she could use a phone, and he said, oh, the phones are that way. And she walked the opposite way.
Right.
Anyway, then like months and months pass and they can't find her. They search the island, but they can't go into these certain territories.
Yeah.
Anyway, the police look at the CCTV from the ship of that night to see what she was doing. And she was dancing with a member of the band that was up there. So the bass player.
Yeah.
And they go to ask him, and he said, oh, yeah, I was dancing with her or whatever. Yeah. She went to her room, I went to mine. That's it. It is what it is. So it wasn't really any lead. But when...
And she'd gone back to the room with her brother anyway, hadn't she?
Yeah, and then disappeared afterwards. Yeah. So at this point, like, there's literally no leads at all on anything. And the family come back home. And
it's quite a short window of time in which she must have gone missing, really, isn't it? Because if the dad saw her...
Between like 6 and 7, she's gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, the FBI get involved and they go to the island, and a man comes forward and he said, I've seen this girl.
Okay. Not taxi man, different
Not taxi man, different man.
Right.
He said, I was working there, I was on the beach, and this woman came up to me, stood in front of me and was staring at me like she was going to say something.
Okay.
But then a man came up and said, get out, like got her away.
Go.
He said, I know it was Amy Bradley because she's got Tasmanian devil tattoo on her shoulder, and I saw the tattoo.
Right.
So they were like, well,
that's quite distinctive.
Did you do anything? And he was like, well, no, this man looks scary.
Yeah, and what do you say?
So they said, can you identify the man if we showed you pictures?
Okay.
Yes, we can. It's the bass player.
Oh.
So we're like, ooh. So that happened, but nothing else came of it.
Right.
Then later on down the line, more investigations took place, and I'm sure it was a Navy officer, was on like a bit of a break from work, went into a strip club on the island.
Yeah.
He said a girl sat down with him and said, these men have kidnapped me. I'm Amy Bradley. You need to get me out of here. They've trafficked me, basically.
Oh,
and I'm now working in this strip club thing. The guy says, I'm only 2 years off retiring and I'm not allowed to be in strip clubs. So he didn't do anything because he didn't want to lose his pension. So he left her there. Then another sighting, there's a woman in the toilet in a cubicle.
Okay.
She hears a man shouting at a woman like outside of the cubicle but in the women's toilets.
Yeah.
So she listens to it and it's like, don't you dare tell anyone. It's like threatening behaviour. Comes out of the toilet and there's this girl there who is Amy Bradley.
Right. Yeah. You know the guy that decided that he didn't want to risk his pension?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he'd have, like, if she'd said, I'm Amy Bradley, he would have heard of the case and known of her.
Apparently he'd not heard of it. And he was like, because he was in the Navy, he must have been working away or something. And he was like, he said, I've been in loads of strip clubs and I know all these sob stories. Like, she was saying, basically, give me 200 quid because they've kidnapped me and they want £200 for me to be released.
Right.
And he was like, really? Yeah.
Okay.
So this woman went out to her husband and said,
I've just
girl in danger in the toilet.
Yeah.
The husband said, oh, yeah, the man who she's with, they've got guns. Like, we can't do anything about it.
Oh my God. It's so awful, isn't it? How, like, if that is her, how close to getting help you
and she's not
probably
been able to.
constantly are, but then...
Yeah, and then even later down the line, the family set up a website.
Yeah.
And they thought, if we put stuff on the website, which is like personal stuff, like her dog, her family, whatever, like it might... Because she's been kidnapped. Well, they think she's been trafficked at this point.
Yeah.
But it's been a long time now and she's not reached out.
Okay.
Like, so she must be either really scared that she can't, or she thinks that's her life, or she's in danger or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, on this website, they're putting all these personal things on. Then someone comes forward and says, Amy Bradley's on this website, an escort website.
Okay. I feel like the only problem there as well with putting all of it on the website is that then you do unfortunately have people that pretend to be the person. Like there's been that before, hasn't there, where they've been like, don't worry, I'm your long lost son.
Yeah, and they're not.
And then they've convinced everyone, and then there's a couple of things that don't add up.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, sorry.
So she's on this escort website, and the police are like, we can't see the tattoo because it's on the back of her arm or something, and she were facing the front on the photo.
Yeah.
So they get a facial recognition expert.
Yeah.
And they say, like, they look at the cheekbones, they look at how high they are, everything else, the eyebrows, the brow bone. And they say, yeah, this is Amy. But by this time, it's years and years later. So she obviously changed the way she looks.
Okay. So when was this, disappearance-wise?
So she disappeared in 1998, but this is what happened all in between.
Yeah.
So it's like she's out there, but they can't get to her. And then the website, what the family have set up, someone goes on like Thanksgiving, Christmas and birthdays and stays on the website for like 45 minutes looking through everything. God. And they think it's Amy, and the IP address comes back to that island, but they can't work out where. And they can't get to her.
Horrendous.
And now she'd be like 50.
Jeez.
So she's still not there. She's still not being found.
Oh my God, that's horrific, isn't it?
It's scary, isn't it?
Because it does seem very likely that she is probably still out there. And that, again, like I say, she's been really close to being
The bass player also refuses to say that he's seen her anywhere else.
Right, okay.
But, like, how did she get off? Was she, like, drugged? Did someone put her in a suitcase and take her off the boat to be trafficked? Did, you don't know what...
And had she been taken and then kept on the boat until everyone then docked and got off? Did they take her on a little boat? Do you know what I mean? Like before they docked. It's so hard, isn't it?
So yeah, that was another really good one, but also really frustrating one because there's sightings of her, and the family were driving around the island, but where they suspected that she was, they couldn't get into it because it was the mafia territory.
It's so awful, isn't it? I always find the cruise ship ones fascinating. I find them so odd.
Well, my mum and dad have been on a cruise ship, and I was telling my mum this story, and she was like, well, the security on the cruise ship is really tight getting on and off.
Ah, right.
But then, it might be tight, but if it's the bass player from the band and he's got someone in a suitcase unconscious, they will know who he is and just be like,
Equally, whenever I've probably mentioned this before, but in cases that I've watched where it's cruise ship related, quite often it's quite an insular community on a cruise ship. So if one person's involved, either other people will know about it
or be involved,
or they won't want to say anything because it is so insular.
And at the end of all this, the cruise director again was like, well, I just think she went overboard. Even though the sightings of her, she's been on an escort website, like people have seen her, like she obviously didn't go overboard. And then he's like, I'm a proud employee of the Royal Caribbean Cruises, and it's like,
and surely her body would have
been found.
Appeared at some point, if
this man, I have never seen anyone so nonchalant about a person getting kidnapped, could have been trafficked, could have been killed. Honestly, it just blew my mind, this man.
That sounds like I'll have to be in the right mood to watch it because it'll annoy me.
Oh yeah, you'll get mad at this man. As soon as he came on, I was like, you'll know who he is. And just like, he's annoying. So yeah, that's another good one. And just finally, quickly, it's not going to take me this long to do that one, don't worry. There's a new one on Channel 4 and it's called Crime Scene Cleaners.
Right.
Bit of a different perspective.
Yeah.
It's UK cases and American cases, but it doesn't go into the crime.
Yeah.
It goes into the cleanup process afterwards.
How they have to.
So there was like fentanyl exposure.
Okay.
There was a car, I'm sure someone was shot in the car in America, and it turned out it was a hire car.
Right.
And the hire company wanted the car back.
What?
You should have seen the state of this car.
God.
So obviously crime scene cleaners got the seats out of the car.
Yeah.
They went through it all
get
with
hired by the car hire company.
They actually work for the police. So it was the police
right.
Not for the police. I think they're in
Yeah.
So they took seats out of the car. They had to clean blood from it. Honestly, it was crazy.
Really.
All the biohazard stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's ones in the UK where they'll clean up after. There was one where a body had been really badly decomposed.
Yeah.
And when they went in, there's maggots everywhere, and they have to clean it up and get it ready for the council to
I met a really interesting couple of people on one of the work experience days the other day, because they were in one of our scenes, and they said that they are basically clearance specialists. So not cleaners, but they just do house clearances.
Okay.
And one of the house clearances that they did was an elderly man in a flat, and so they were just hired to clear out the flat, but they basically had to do a crime scene cleanup because what had happened is he had, for however it had happened, he'd fallen out of his armchair into the fire. And the ones that were all built up, the fire at work in the fire room, it's the little rose gold edging all the way around, isn't it? The guard had fallen into that, but then he'd obviously caught fire, and they said that it was like he was embers, mixed with coals and stuff. But then had been left for 2 weeks.
Oh,
and no one had found it. So they were telling me
horrible.
about that, and I was like, "Oh, you just never know what other people do you?"
No. And these cleaners have got so much to take into consideration, especially in America, because when you're dealing with stuff like fentanyl and the fentanyl labs, they're usually labs set up in someone's house, but a little bit of exposure is so dangerous.
Yeah.
So it's you are taking a massive risk yourself by doing it.
Yeah.
So that covers the UK and the US, which I thought was really interesting, because you see the two different ways, not even two different ways that they do it, because obviously it's all biohazard stuff and you have to be careful, but the two different types of crime. So America's the fentanyl, the drug labs, someone getting shot in a car.
Yeah.
But then the one in the UK is not so much criminal, it's someone's died in the living room.
Yeah.
Do you know,
yeah.
Whereas obviously America's
prevalent.
a lot more extreme. And road traffic cleanups as well. So if someone's been hit or knocked over, they have to get the blood off the road.
Yeah.
And
so it's how do you go about?
And they have to police have to go and stop the traffic while they do all the cleaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I
that
thought that
sounds
was
like a
just
good one.
interesting, but
Yeah.
you do have to have quite a strong stomach for that one, because it is fairly graphic.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. I like that one.
Lastly, a non-factual based one on Netflix is that Department Q.
I've watched it.
Have you?
Yeah, I love
Quite
it.
new.
Yeah.
I've not got to the end yet, but I'm finding it really good.
It's good.
Is it a good ending?
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I was worried that it was going really well and then it'd be a bit of one of those
Bit of
where
flop.
either they tie it up too quickly at the end or they leave it too
loose, as in there's going to be
loose.
another series.
Yeah.
No, you'll like that.
Okay, good.
It's a good one.
Cool.
Yeah, I do really like that one. I would highly recommend Department Q.
Yeah, it's basically, for anyone that hasn't heard of it, a detective who went through something really traumatic involving a case that he was or a scene that he was attending, and his partner and him are both really severely injured. But then it's the classic grumpy
cop,
kind of disgraced detective who doesn't want to speak to the psychiatrist that he has to because it's been court ordered or whatever. But they basically say, right, we can't have you back on your usual team, but you can help us solve some cold cases.
Yeah, so he opens up a whole cold case division and he chooses his staff, doesn't he, that he wants. Yeah. It is really good, that. How many episodes is there in
I don't know. I've lost track because I didn't think I'd watched as many as I had. I thought I'd maybe watched 1 or 2, and then when I went back to watch it, I'd watched 4.
I've watched a bit off track. I've watched Wednesday as well.
Ah, yeah.
Have you watched that yet?
I watched the first, because how many series? Is that season 2?
So we're on season
3?
2, but they've only released 4 episodes. The other 4 don't release until September. I'm like, oh my God, I've watched all 4.
So I've watched the first series, but I've not seen
the second yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
But if I'm being completely honest, I've been too busy binge watching House.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I'm in a real deep house.
Household.
Household, yeah. Deep house makes it sound like
Yeah.
I'm going to some raves, but no, just a deep household. But there you go.
So yeah, that's everything that we've been watching recently. Yeah. There is just some really good stuff.
Yeah, I've got so much to catch up on now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go and watch those train wreck ones.
And I'll never get round to it because then we'll be doing more cases and then we
need to research cases. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you again for either watching or listening. We've actually got an unsolved case that's going to be coming up in an episode that, again, we've been requested. So as I say, that's another unsolved case that we're going to be covering because it's been requested. So as we always mention, if there are any cases that you've heard about, maybe they're unsolved, maybe it's a case where you think the victim's voice should be heard or more widely known about, then we will try our best to cover it.
Just let us know. And follow us on socials as well. We're going quite well, I think, at the moment on our socials, and we're going to get back on posting our short clips and posting properly. I've started on the TikTok.
We are going to get better.
We are finally going to catch up on everything. So, yeah.
But thank you ever so much. And until next time, take care.
Bye.